We have finally returned from the land of the rising sun, and after almost a month, we are here, back on the Extreme Anime Radio podcast here on Twitch and also on YouTube. I'm JR. Thank you so much for joining us. Joining me, as per usual, is my partner from across the border, Mr. Neff Canuck. Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Boy, well, if last night's stream was any indication, I'm still jet lagged from coming from Japan.
Well, it is a long trip, and your body has to adjust back to normal time for you.
Yes. We have the whole gang here tonight, including the person who enjoyed Japan with me, and that's Bree. Hello, Bree.
Hello.
How are things going on your end? How are you feeling after the trip?
Okay, now I think I have finally readjusted today, but that was after 10 and a half hours of sleep.
Nice.
Oh, man. We also have Karam in the house. Hi, Karam.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Shinigami Liz. Hello, Liz.
Hello, hello.
We've invited the whole gang here tonight as we talk about our trip. Be cautioned that the content, a lot of the content on the podcast tonight is going to be show and tell. So if you're listening to us, I'll do my best to describe what's going on, or, we'll describe and we'll give you our thoughts based on the pictures I'm putting up. But to get the whole shebang, if you will, please watch us on Twitch or on YouTube. As I mentioned, we are streaming to YouTube tonight as well. So that means if everything holds up with the YouTube stream, we won't have to do a separate upload of the show to YouTube. So we will hopefully get that straightened away, make sure our YouTube folks are happy. And then that will just leave us to upload an audio podcast to Spotify after we wait the 24 hours. Some of the rules, Neff, are that we have to prioritize Twitch. So even if you're watching on YouTube right now, all the graphics are Twitch related. We can't post any links to YouTube in the chat or anything like that. So that's Twitch land for you.
I was going to say that sounds remarkably like my job, complicated, arcane, and it goes over my head at 50,000 feet.
Before we go into our trip, speaking of over your head, Neff, talk to us about Anime North. Only now 2 months away until the big show comes.
That's right. 2 months until Canada's largest fan-run anime convention kicks off. I am, of course, the host of ceremonies / wrangler of cats / the person upon which everything falls in regards to the charity auction. The charity auction is our biggest thing to raise money for the Toronto Hospital for Sick Kids. As a former Sick Kids kid myself, I find it is more... let me put it this way. I could throw money at this, but I would rather do something. And this is what I do every year. I've been doing it now since I was involved initially as a staffer 2008. And my crew and I have been at this now for a number of years, coming up on 20 years. I've only ever missed one, and that was because I was in rehab back in 23. Yeah, it's been a while. But I plan to stay out of rehab in terms of, physical damage and be there again this year. We're going to be raising lots of money. Once again, it is credit or debit only because, frankly, we don't like carrying, large wads of cash. And we don't like you having to carry large wads of cash if you come to the auction because, safety and all that.
Yeah. Jeremy, longtime supporter of XAR, welcome to the chat, and we thank you for joining us. I gave one of our cosplay collaborators a heads up because I believe she's going to be at the con on Sunday. Fairy, Canadian cosplayer who has helped us with Umemi. So she said that she may check out the auction the day she goes to the con.
Well, she can do that, and she can certainly see our preview display Friday and Saturday. Of course, Sunday being the auction, we will be going straight at, stupid o'clock into the hall, taking all our donated goods into the Cohen Ballroom once again and auctioning it off, for charity. We don't know if we'll have any special guests. Last year, we had the mayor drop by and auction off an item, Mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow, and it was very well received. The mystery box is once again going to show up. What will be in the mystery box this year? Nobody knows yet.
Nobody knows for certain. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a mystery box, right?
Well, technically the staff know, but yeah.
I did send a little bit of a package that Bree and I came up with that we're going to donate to the auction. It is in the post right now. And hopefully Canada Post, or I should say the Canada Border Control, has no problem clearing the package.
I'll say this. I don't think Canada Border Service will have any issues.
Okay.
It's going out of the country that, things might get a little hairy.
Yep. I will show you something that we collected from the Sailor Moon store in Osaka, which is where most of the items we picked up are from. And of course, this fits me all along. Sailor Mercury sushi.
Cute.
Okay. Sailor Mercury in a blanket.
Yep. So I'll let you see when the Sailor Moon goodie bag comes along. And there's one other thing that Bree pulled that we're sending to the auction as well. Bree, why don't you explain that real quick?
We were at round one of the bigger ones, the stadium one, and we were playing some crane games. And I just randomly walked up to one crane game in particular. I put in one 100 yen coin, and I won that prize. That's
Very
what we're
nice.
sending to you.
Very nice indeed.
On the first crack, too.
Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
Meanwhile, I failed, trying, if she can do it, I can too. How much did I spend before I gave up? Like 2,000 yen or something like that?
Too much. I was like, okay, this is way too hard. I'm not even gonna try. He's like, let me try. I'm like, no.
Oh boy. Yeah, it was a very interesting trip in that respect, but a lot of things to show, Neff. So if you're ready, we're going to do the show and tell. I figured the easiest way to do the show and tell, Neff, is to hook up my iPad to the Elgato. So I think I have this all nice and rigged up. So you ready to see some pictures?
Ooh, you went high tech on us here. I want to see this.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with our first picture here. And Bree, maybe you can explain to us what this picture is all about.
Oh. So on JAL, they gave us these eye masks that kind of heat up over your eyes, which were nice.
Yes, when I flew business class a couple of trips back, they gave us the moist mask, and now this one is one that when you take it out of the package, it heats up right away, and it stays hot for like 20 or 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, and it's like it gives a little steam off of it, so it helps with the dryness of your eyes during the flight.
All right.
Okay,
So,
no offense, JR, but you look like you're wearing 2 tea bags on your face. Tetley 1 and Tetley 2, folks.
Oh, gee. Yeah, and the headphones, too. We got we picked up earbuds when we walked in. We didn't need them because we had noise-canceling headphones on our seat.
Nice.
So one of the other perks is that we get to hang out in the lounge. So we hung out there. Let me swipe through a little bit. That's what the lounge looks like in Los Angeles. So the picture might not be too sharp because, again, I'm pulling this from the iPad and the iPad's pulling the pictures from the cloud. Let me see if I can pull up some of the... No, I don't go... sideways. Okay. So they gave us some meals. I mean, doesn't look appealing at first, but yes, actually tasted quite good. Did you have the same thing I had, Bree, or did you have something else? Do you remember?
I had the Japanese bento basically
Okay.
with the fish.
Right.
I think yours might be the same, but yours
Right.
looks a little different.
Yeah. We had we asked for the sake. We also had they gave us a cup of miso soup. They poured it in a cup, which was cool. And then this was midway through the flight. So yes, very something famous about JAL is the first airline to create instant noodles in the sky. So we had the instant udon noodles with the spice pack, and the drink in the corner is the Skytime drink, which was the what was it, peach and grape or something like that, right? So
Yeah.
I remember when it was a kiwi drink, which was a little better, if you ask me. But this was our quote-unquote breakfast, which tasted very good as well. And you saw that already. And well, here we are. Now, we were landing in Osaka. We didn't land in Tokyo this time. So this is us flying over Nagoya on the way to Osaka. I'm going to pull up a few more things here. And let's see. We were on the Hello Kitty train again, which was nice. Let's see. Should we show him Osaka Castle?
Yeah.
Okay, here's Osaka Castle. So this is a recreation. So inside it is completely modern, and this was the view from the top. Now, unfortunately, it was not the best of days for a good number of days we were on the trip. But at least you can see, have the moats going around the castle, you know, line of defense way back in the day. As you look inside, oh yeah, we have the gold ornaments, which were cool. And then let me see if they have an interior shot. So that's it's an interior shot of some of the things you might find on the outside. And let's see, from there, we saw some plum. I think they were plum blossoms in the.
Yeah, there were like 105 variations.
105 variations, yeah. So this all came down pretty well, I think. And okay, yeah, this is me walking away. That's a nice photo.
Oops.
Yeah, but let's see. How about Super Mario World? This was us as Super Nintendo World, I should say. Resubscriber, Flax. Welcome back, Flax, and thanks for your support. That's what that chime is for. Here we are, getting ready to ride Mario Kart inside Super Nintendo World. So,
Nice.
so the way it works is that we have to wear these caps, Mario caps, and then we have, I guess, the virtual reality glass screen attached when you board the cart, and then you can look around and shoot at things. I definitely think, Bree, we needed to do that a second time because once wasn't enough. I was confused.
Well, I mean, at least it worked for you.
Yeah.
For some reason, my visor, I couldn't see anything.
Her visor conked out, apparently. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, it would have been great if we could have, but I think the wait time for that ride was like an hour or more.
Right. So yes, definitely helps to get those express passes ahead of time. Otherwise, for each of the main rides we rode, I think the waiting time was anywhere from 90 minutes up to like 3.5 hours. The Donkey Kong wait was 3.5 hours on the regular line.
Pardon me for saying so, but that's bananas.
Hold on a
Agreed.
sec. Wait a second. Do I have the pictures from when we took that ride? No, they're not
Probably
on the
not.
they're not on the iPad for some reason. But I thought I took pictures from when we were in line for that. Unless we wrote it later. But one cool thing was the Gru ride. This is a Despicable Me ride where you could become a minion. Your life could be great. This is one of our favorite pictures that they put in there. And then you have all these drawings that you actually see in Gru's house when he adopts the kids. So it was cool to see these drawings, reminiscent of the original movie. This one was cool. And this one's one of my favorite drawings. You remember this one from the movie too, right? So.
Adorable.
Mm-hmm. So we then went to Kyoto, had a wonderful time there. And of course, in Kyoto, they have their own Nintendo museum. So this is the one where they have wonderful artifacts and you have to kind of book your ticket ahead of time because it is very popular. Among the most popular things are the interactive exhibits, which you can play old Famicom games, Super Famicom games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, because that's what they're called in Japan, Famicom. I'll show you the main first floor maybe here. Has a lot of things. And let's see. These are some of the areas where you could go inside and play the games interactively, which was kind of cool. And then after that, let's see, I was going to show you that. We went to the sumo, not the sumo, well, we went to the sumo museum later. We went to the sumo arena in Osaka where they were doing the tournament. And, well, we didn't actually go see the tournament, but we saw something else. This was something that people are allowed to go in to watch for free. And it is a ceremony to purify the sumo ring for the tournament ahead. You see all these guys representing the Sumo Association showing up. People arriving. And then, let's see, can we load a video? I'm going to see if we can load a video here of the... maybe of the start of things, so at least you can see. If this doesn't load, it's okay, because again, this is on the iPad and I took everything on the phone. Looks like we're going to be out of luck here, but here's another picture that you can see. A referee's acting as the priest and giving a little blessing to all the dignitaries from the Sumo Association there. Quite a nice hidden gem. If you can't get into the sumo tournament, you can get into that for free. And it only lasts about 30 minutes, which was kind of cool. What else did we do, Bree, that we should show the guys?
A
lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I'm trying to think of.
Well, let's see. We had...
we went to a lot of temples, too. And there was a lot of wedding ceremonies happening.
Oh, yes. Let me call that one up real quick. We saw one in Hyogo. Actually, it was on the way to our Kobe beef dinner. Here's a picture of somebody getting married in the shrine, and I think we saw like 2 or 3 of those on the whole trip.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the exterior of the shrine. This is Nishinomiya Shrine. So this shrine is very popular. We see some torii gates here leading to like a sub-shrine. Let me see for any other... Okay, so this is like a more calmer area. But the big selling point... Oh, I could blow this up too. How about that? But no, the big selling point for this shrine is that here's the main entrance. So there is a long walkway to get to the main entrance, and every January there is a lucky man race that happens. So what does that consist of, Neff? They open the gates to the main shrine, and there's like a mad dash to run to the shrine. This happens right after the new year every year, and this happens like in the middle of the night. And they open the doors, and there's like a big foot race, and then the first three to arrive at the doors of that shrine that I just showed you here, they are the lucky men who get blessed, after everything is over.
Okay, so basically the Japanese equivalent of Black Friday, but you don't get the $500 TV for $50. The first three get actually blessed, which is probably safer and saner.
We had, like I said, the Kobe beef. We went to this restaurant, which is called Vesta, and they have a price fixed lunch course, which is reasonably priced, I think, which included a welcome drink and an amuse-bouche of beef. I don't know if that was Kobe beef, but they served it to us along with a nice drink, which I couldn't get enough of. I think Bree had the alcoholic beverage and I had the non-alcoholic beverage, right?
Yeah, he had the better option.
There's the steak grill where they're roasting all sorts of onions and stuff or something like that. And this is our cabana where we ate, which was cool. You get a salad. I picked up some wine. And this was kind of, okay, here we go. Some seared beef, some seared Kobe beef. That was not the main course, though. This is kind of like one of the appetizers. This was the main course. Four cuts of marbled beef. Brie had the round cuts, which I think looked more visually appealing than this, but it is what it is. And they're served with some sauces on the side and some nuts and salt and some onions that you could partake on later. So that was kind of cool. We're gonna compare as we go on in the trip with the other beef that we had, which was the Hitagu beef. And then, of course, no trip to Japan is complete without the okonomiyaki. So we had that. And, of course, no trip is complete without a mug of melon soda.
Mm.
Who wants melon soda?
Me.
You a fan, Neff?
It depends. I mean, the problem is I find sometimes it's too sweet. I think it's just, how it's put together.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, this is the end result. We each cut into it. We had another okonomiyaki later in the trip, which was cool. But then we went to Umeda Sky Building, which is one of the tallest buildings in the area, or at least in proximity to us. And we got free admission because we got it as part of a combination ticket with our train from the airport. So you go up this, I don't know if this is going to load, but we'll give this a shot anyway. Looks like it might be out of luck here. But yes, you go up a staircase and an escalator up like a glass tube, like you're in Epcot, and here you are at the top of the lovely view of Osaka. And then I run into these characters. Who are these characters again? They look familiar.
I'm not sure.
I know. Unfortunately, the picture looks a little fuzzy.
I want to say I recognize them, but from where I cannot tell you right now.
Hmm.
And that's going to bug me because I definitely recognize at least one or two of them. I'm going, come on, I know where this is from. It's just.
Right. I know if
Coming at the bottom.
I'm so
It
yeah,
says
it's at the
Promise of
bottom.
Wizard.
What is it?
Promise of Wizard.
Promise of Wizard. Anybody familiar with that?
Nope.
No, but and I'm just going to do a quick little Google search. Give me a second here because I'm curious.
Sure.
Let's
The,
see
they
here.
had those. They had those up as like a promotion up there. So
Mhm. Oh, there we are. As promised, the Wizard Anime. It's new. It's a new show. Let's
okay.
see. 3.4 out of 5 stars. Hmm.
Okay.
Yikes.
Here we are on
Let's see.
top of the Ameta Sky Building. That picture came out clear. I'm surprised this one came out clear and not the others. Here we are walking back to our hotel. Oh, and this is back in Dotonbori now. So we visited Dotonbori in the daytime, which was cool. I wonder if this video is gonna come up. If it's not loading, then you know, that's gonna be a real shame. But we're gonna see if this video loads real quick. I'm gonna actually, I have a VPN here that's activated. I'm gonna turn it off and see if that helps any.
Quite likely it will. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. We got your back. We're looking after you. Security cameras in operating.
A for effort, but yeah.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Now that I turned off my VPN, these pictures are going to look a lot crisper now. So there you go. Go figure, huh?
Hmm.
Now, now we can reverse and show you the last 20 minutes again. No, I'm just kidding. But let's see here. Maybe now I can show you. I'll show you a video from the sumo blessing ceremony here. Hopefully, should this come up now? Let's see. This one is a little bit of a long video, so it's taking a few seconds. Let's see if it'll work here. No, this one doesn't want to go, unfortunately. It's all right. Everything seems to be hit or miss with this. We went to Ichiran. Did I happen to run into Kazuma Kiryu over here in Dotonbori or Sotonbori? No, unfortunately not. Although we did see some things that made me remind of myself of the game, to be honest. So, one of them was the Don Quixote. Don Quixote in there in this area is so cramped as it is in the game, right, Bree?
Yeah.
Oh yes, and then we had Ichiran. This is my first Ichiran, but believe it or not, even though we have one, I think, here in the city. And so we actually did Ichiran a couple of more times. We did this in Osaka. Then we also did it in twice in Nagoya, because it so happens that the Ichiran in Nagoya is right next to our hotel. So we could literally just walk out the door and into the Ichiran. See,
Okay, could you explain this for the studio audience? Because I'm looking at that and I'm going, that looks like ramen, but it doesn't look like ramen. So what's the difference?
Well, it is ramen. They make it in their own unique way. You see the noodles in the middle and the pork on the right, and you can ask for extra noodles, extra pork with your meal. You buy it first, and then you find a table where you sit. Where you sit
In a booth.
In a booth, in your own booth, right?
It's just because the broth is very different from what I'm used to when I order. Because I'm going, what's different about that broth? There's something different. It's got this interesting color
Right.
compared to what I
Right.
normally see.
It's creamy.
It's a creamy
that's what
broth,
it is.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And you eat it in booths, and you know, it's meant so that you can focus on eating your ramen and enjoying the flavor and not be distracted by anything, you know, around you. So that's the premise behind it. We then took, this blew up again, but we took our train. This is the train that we spent 4 hours on to go to Takayama. That's what it says there. Winner of the Blue Ribbon Award. And let's see. Oh, yes, this was my meal. This was a pork and chicken bento box. So, this is what it looks like. Bento boxes, a traditional part of train travel, long-distance train travel in Japan. So we each picked up a bento box to take with us to Takayama. Bree, which was the one that you had?
The one that I had snow crab and sukiyaki.
Sukiyaki. That was a nice one. Your crab was pretty good. Let me go over here and okay, yes, we could see Inuyama Castle out the window, which is where my friend works. So we'd be going back to Inuyama later in the trip. Let's see if we can get a video here of the train ride a little bit. Here we go. No audio here, just video. But you can see this is outside the train window as we go into the mountains. It's actually looked pretty okay from this end. But as we got higher up into the mountains, we were getting some snow. We were also getting a little bit of reflection from, that side of the train where the sun was hitting. You can see some of the river there. And let me see if I could pull up a video where we get a little closer. You'll see that, yeah, you can see here with these pictures, you can see we're getting into an area where it just recently snowed. So that's a little better picture. I just was taking like several pictures at once here. This is like an open farmland. So Liz, when I saw this, like I remembered you.
Yeah, I see a lot of that.
Really? Yeah. Let's see here. And this is the traditional streets in Takayama, which is cool. And this is one of the bridges overlooking the river there. This was actually the good day in Takayama. The following day was not so good. But let's see. Yeah, let's see if we can get this video rolling here real quick. Yeah, so this is now on the other side of the river to the right is where they do a morning market. So that's what we actually availed ourselves of, and that was our sort of breakfast, if you will, the following day. Although that day it wasn't too, the weather wasn't too good. Let's see. We had some mochi there. E.T. was there. That's for you, Neff.
Phone home. E.T. phone home.
We saw a shrine there, and then which was pretty cool to see. That is the local mascot of the shrine, which was cool. This was kind of like one of the back streets, and we could see the canal here. I wish I could have pumped up some of the audio in here for you guys to listen to, but I wasn't able to set that up in time. But yeah, very quiet, peaceful alley, no tourists, which was, amazing considering in most other parts of the country we went to, tourists all over the place. Let's see. We went to a museum that hosts the floats that they use for one of the Matsuri festivals in Takayama City every year. So there's this big building where people can walk in, and they have video guides where they give out, and he can help you explain things. And then, okay. Now we're going to go into one of my favorite museums, which is this one. This is the Takayama Showa-kan Museum. And this is a museum that contains artifacts from the era from after the Second World War until the end of the 1980s. So what they call the post-war Showa period, when Emperor Hirohito was alive. So you go in and immediately you see all these artifacts. It looks like a nice little quiet village that you can go into and look at all these artifacts. And there are several rooms where you can go in and you can actually sit down and take pictures, which I found pretty cool. We have some Famicom computers, and we have a Ricoh keyboard there, Neff. Toshiro Mifune?
Oh, wow.
Is this Toshiro Mifune? It probably could be. Let's see. Let me see if I can find... It could be, yeah. I don't see the kanji right away. Here's another poster with some nice looking kids from the 70s, I guess. Look at their hairstyle. And then we have these old signs and everything. Oh, this was a nice little cafeteria place that they modeled up where you could sit down and pose with some props that they have on the table there. So I posed in this room, Bree posed in this room, or Bree posed in another room actually, which was kind of cool. Let's see. This one's for you, Neff. All the RCA dogs.
Oh, wow.
Except for the little one. The little one's for Liz. Liz, you like any of these artifacts that we're showing in here?
Yeah, is that an old Coca-Cola machine in that last one you just had?
Ooh, I think
Yep.
so, yeah.
Nice. That's the one with the bottles.
Mm-hmm. The one with the bottles and the one you open it right there, right?
Yeah.
So
They had one that was operational. Too,
yeah,
but we didn't do it.
Yeah, we should have though, you know. Would have been cool to try out. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go past that. Okay. So actually, can I show that, Bree?
Go ahead.
Okay, we'll show this one. This is her watching television in an old house. So, no, it is actually one of my favorite museums on the entire trip because, kind of brings everything to life here. How things were. Oh, and this picture's for you, Bree, too. All these lucky cats. And then, oh, yes, here we go, guys. Liz and Neff for you. A cassette vending machine and a battery vending machine.
Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
Did you guys grow up with cassette vending machines or anything like that?
No. Can't say as it did.
I remember cigarette vending machines.
Yep.
Oh, the cigarette vending machines. I know that. Yeah. Oh, we found this as part of the toy rooms and stuff. The Honda S800. Put it together yourself.
I'm trying to remember if those ever made it. I don't think that those ever made it across the pond. Cute little things though. If you look at them and you look at the British sports cars of the time, they were roughly similar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that one reminds me a lot of, say, a Sunbeam Tiger. One of those little things.
Right. Here's a room filled with doodads. Lots of toys in here. See if I can blow this up a little bit. Yeah. We have Ultraman up there. A few toys. We have a Porsche Speedster you could put together too.
Oof.
More Ultraman. Astro Boy chair. This is like a doctor's office, I think. There's Beat Takeshi. with these old ads for some sort of vitamin drink. And this is the room full of cameras.
Holy shutterbug.
Holy shutterbug. Yeah, all these cameras that were collected and are behind the glass, you know. A lot of these we grew up with when we were, you know, young, right? So we have these projectors over here too. We have a poster here for professional wrestling starring Antonio Inoki and Andre the Giant.
I was going to say, I recognize the dude in the upper right-hand corner there. And I think the guy in the hat, I think that's Stan Hansen.
Stan Hansen.
And there's Mr. Terry Bollea.
Uh-huh. And then
AKA
Nikolai Volkov in the corner there.
Oh my gosh. Yikes.
And then a few others that I don't recognize.
Yeah. It's
Sergeant Slaughter? Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter in the corner there.
Yep, I see him.
So this
Not
must
a flattering picture of Sarge, though.
This must have been something that happened in like the, you know, late 70s, early 80s or whatnot, right?
Yeah, definitely, because as you can see, Mr. Hogan has hair.
Yeah. So does Andre the Giant, if you look at it.
Oh yeah, that was before the infamous haircutting match.
Yeah. This is the girls' festival setup that they had because that was that time that we visited. Old Astro Boy on the TV. Another room we played around with. Okay, so now we're gonna go a little bit on a side project, if you will. This was a room filled with old record covers and labels, and functioning 8-track machines and turntables. Yes, 8-track machines. Do you remember those?
Oh yeah, that used to be the big thing in cars way back when. You'd get the upgraded stereo with the 8-track player.
Yep.
Right. So one of the record covers I saw was this. So this is a cover of a 1965 song, and I'm going to pull up the title that I can pronounce correctly here. Where are you here? Sayonara wa Dance no Ato ni. And the name of the artist is, let's see, Chieko Baisho. And is the girl in the white Utada Hikaru? No. I don't think there are any Utada Hikaru. Remember, this museum only goes up until the late 1980s. So I do not believe Utada Hikaru was popular by then. But I saw this cover, and I'm going to actually switch to another album here for a second so I can explain what my thinking is right here. Here's another better shot of that album cover. The first thing I saw was that this could be a Sarah project. I could see Sarah dancing and holding that flower. So in the middle of the trip, I got a hold of Brenny, and Brenny is like, yeah, I can see it. So look carefully at this. And here's the result. What do you think?
That's fantastic.
Very well done.
So it has, instead of this, this kanji and characters that you see here, all you see is her name, Sara Yoshida. And can you tell Neff what it says below her name by any chance?
Anime radio.
Obviously, my Japanese is now so rusty that
Anime radio, yes. Yes, so this is actually art release, and something from Brenny usually means there will be wallpaper. So when we release this art this weekend, because that's when Brenny would like us to release it, that is when we will release the wallpaper. And there will be 2 versions of that wallpaper. One of my favorite things is that it says stereo in the corner and XAR, kind of like it will appear on like an old record. That was her idea, actually. So
Nice touch.
So yes, thank you so much, Brenny, for helping us out with that little project. Let's see. Then we go and we have some more ramen. No, we don't. We go to this place. We go to Matsuki Sushi. And this is something that they recommended reservations. And this was the first time I actually used the American Express concierge to book a table. And the table actually ended up being the sushi bar. So this was a place where I believe Bree found this.
Not
and
this one.
I'm sorry?
I said I found Vesta.
You found Vesta. Okay, so then maybe I found this one. They specialize more in sushi, but they do sell beef. So they had a course which included this crab soup, which was delicious. And then 8 cuts of sushi, including raw beef and cooked beef. I don't know how I feel about raw beef, but we ended up pretty good. There was some fatty tuna in there too, I think. And then this was the Hitagu, which in my opinion is a lot better and flavorful than the Kobe beef. I would actually try to return to this restaurant or any other restaurant in the region to try this type of beef in the future. I was so happy with that. And this is a little extra picture I took of the sushi restaurant. And that's the exterior at night, which I find quite interesting. Oh yes. And then we had this. This was a house that we saw that was just decorated on the outside with tinsel and had red and green blinking lights all around. So we're trying to find out what this house is. Liz, do you have any ideas?
I don't know. Maybe to ward off evil spirits.
Sparkling called it says. Yeah, ha ha ha. He threw an XAR joke in there. Neff, what would be your take on this?
I'm going, it looks like a Christmas tree light factory that's about to explode.
Almost, right? One of my favorite pictures from the trip. This is taken right outside the hotel window there. You can see the mountains, and it was actually the best weather at that point because the following day it was all a mess. This is how it looked the next day. But we went out and we went to the Miyagi-wa morning market, and we had these steamed buns, which were delicious. Kind of reminds me of the 551 Horai we had. Let's see. Oh, went to a cool cafe as well. Paradise Cafe is where we stopped for a little break, and then I turned. Yeah. Hold on, folks. I will turn this around. Prop, rotate. Thank you. So this is a coffee break along with a sweet which was unique to the region. It's sort of like what did they use, Bree? Do you remember the ingredient? Because I don't. It was some sort of gelatin, right?
Yeah, it's like a mochi and egg.
Yeah, it looked like egg on the outside, right?
It's made from egg and like.
Oh, there you go. There's
that
another
mochi.
close-up
It's like
for
a
you.
marshmallow.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It actually was quite delicious. So another hidden gem in Takayama. As you can see, yeah, the weather was quite lousy, so we headed back, and then we came across one of these manhole cover with Pokemon on them. What characters are those?
I'm not sure what the characters are, but I think they're related to Mankey.
Okay, so like evolutions, you think?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe some of our other viewers. Oh, okay, Jeremy. Pansage, Panpour, Panseer. Thank you. Cool. We have resident Pokemon experts here. Thank you so much. We're going to continue on. We went to another museum. Old alleyways. We got to Nagoya. Had some more Ichiran. We went to the shrine. Oh, yes. We went to Tokugawa Park and Tokugawa Museum, all in Nagoya. A little bit of a hike, but, well worth the trip. And very quiet and serene. And we have these various different parts of the garden that you can visit. Now, they had an exhibition here. Bree, can I show the videos of us trying to lift the sword?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll call those up here as we scroll through. Okay. So they have an exhibition about swords, which I was interested in trying out. And they give you the opportunity in one part of the exhibit to try to hold the swords yourself. And as you can see, there is so much protection all the way around. And this was Bree with the initial sword, the one that weighed the least. And then I went on to try that sword. And then I think in this video, you see me moving to the next sword, which is a little heavier. I guess Bree trying the sword. You can see the handles are... I don't know if these handles are the originals for the sake of, people trying them out. Well, let me see if I can go to the next one. Yeah, here we go. This is me holding sword number 2. I get this might just be a photo, but yes, they definitely get heavier and heavier. And then you get to this sword. Can you believe that people carry these swords with their horses?
No. Crazy.
I'd feel sorry for the horses. Yikes.
And that was just the second heaviest sword. Then we got to the heaviest sword of them all, which was this guy. Yeah, here we go. The heavy sword. Here we go.
I can do this. I can do this.
No.
Oh,
This scored like a silent film. So, yeah, Bree tried it out too. And then, oh, yes. We showed this to Liz. The white rooster. And it's actually silent at this point, but by the time we walked by again, it was just crowing all the way around. You could hear it go
He was
off.
putting on a show.
Oh, yeah. We have a slot spin coming up for Flax. No. Exactly. Sorry about that, Flax. That's why you heard that noise. Let's see. What else did we do? I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And let's see. Okay, yes, we went to this place, which was also in the Tokugawa garden. Lovely cafe that sold sweets, and we also had like a little bit of a sandwich there, right, Bree?
Yes.
Mm. We also had this, and there was a nice big bridge, a beautiful bridge that connected to the pond. Took a picture of this sign. Do not sit on the bridge. Do not lean over the bridge. Do not play on the bridge. So this is the cool bridge that we went over. That leads us into the whole garden area. Let's see here. This was a beautiful pond in the inside of the garden. Then I met with a friend of mine over there for dinner, which was cool to do. And then we went off to Inuyama. In Inuyama, we went back to Meiji-Mura. So Meiji-Mura is a museum where they take old buildings from the Meiji era, maybe even, I would say the Meiji era for the most part, and sometimes after that a little bit. If they want to preserve them, they deconstruct the buildings and then reconstruct the buildings in this area. So, for example, this picture. This is the old exterior of the Imperial Hotel that was built by Frank Lloyd Wright in Tokyo. Complete with a pond up in front. Frank Lloyd Wright, renowned architect. We saw like some of the interiors as well, including the style he used to build the spaces. They only built up to like 4 floors, which is why you see like they put the artificial ceiling up top. But they put in a movie which explained things a little better. There's Frank Lloyd Wright, and oh yes, this is the inside of a church. Yeah, it does have a Frank Lloyd Wright look to it. This was St. Francis Xavier Church, which was, again, I want to say this might have been in Kyoto. This was deconstructed and reconstructed. I think the church is not specifically active as a Catholic church, but we do see, in fact, the day we visited, we saw some people visiting, doing wedding photo shoots there. Things that are typically done in Japan, I guess. And here's the exterior. So again, they deconstructed this building and then reconstructed the building right on this site. So the fact that they just reconstruct these buildings is a sight to behold.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a great way to preserve, architectural uniqueness, because as we all know, there is this tendency to say, if you can't pave it, why save it?
Exactly. So we went into a few more of these buildings here. We went into a railway shed that made my day. Just cool to see that. This is the old Imperial wagons, Neff.
I was like, gee, I wonder why it made your day.
So they give you concepts. Oh, this is the old Mie Prefectural Government Building, which is, I think, one of the larger buildings in size that they transported here. And that, I think, was a nice sight to behold as well. I'm going to go on and search for some more things here that we saw. Oh, yeah. This was an old post office building from Kyoto that they transported over here. And it is actually still a functioning post office. There is an old man inside that works for Japan Post that will mail your letters if you have them. So I was tempted to buy some postcards and mail them out to different people to see how that would turn out. There's this old bridge from Tokyo as well. And, oh yes, then we had some more food, and here's a little night view of Nagoya of our last night. So typical, I would guess, close to the city nightlife. It doesn't look pretty crowded at this point. But then the following day, we went to Nagoya. It was time for us to go to Tokyo. And I hope this video loads, because if it doesn't, all right. So this is something we booked specifically. And the reason why you're going to see a lot of people on the platform have their cameras out. We booked this train specifically because of the exterior. This is the Disney Bullet Train. So the entire exterior is filled with all sorts of colors and Disney characters. So we have Frozen, Rapunzel, and Peter Pan, I think, decorating the outside. On the inside, it just looks like a regular bullet train. But this is a promotion that Disney Sea Fantasy Springs was doing with Central Japan Railway. So here comes our train, and it's coming to a stop, and I think we board the... I think we board this car over here. Yeah, car 8. So that car, that train will be around for a little while. And I guess it's JR Central's answer to some of the other bullet trains that are coming out lately, like the Hello Kitty bullet train. And now 3 one-piece bullet trains are coming out in the next few years, Neff.
That would be rather interesting to ride, I think.
Mm-hmm. And let's see here. Here are a few close-ups that I took from outside of the train. So, much to Bree's chagrin, because she hates when I do this, there are certain stops on the... You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I fear you get stuck on the train and you'd be in some other town.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
What happens, the way the bullet trains run, is that every so often, if you're not on the fastest service, you'll pull over for a stop and you'll wait like 5 minutes and you allow a faster train to pass through. So that's what happened, I think, twice on our trip. We pulled over at these stations along the way, and I would just run up. I did it on the last trip. I would go up to a vending machine, see if there's anything we wanted to drink, run right back onto the train before the doors closed. So here was an opportunity to just step out onto the platform and take photos and videos of the exterior of the bullet train, just like everybody else was doing. And here is the video that I took. I can't remember. This must have been Shizuoka Station, because it says Shizuoka up on the top. And of course, everybody taking pictures there. Excuse me. Okay, yeah. So they only run these trains on the slower trains, which is why we took them, this particular one. Otherwise, we would have taken the faster train that would have been like far fewer stops. And here, my attempt to catch Mount Fuji from the bullet train again. Let's see. This seems to be a clearer picture. A little bit of a visibility issue, but you can still make out the top of Mount Fuji there, which was awesome. Always cool to see that on the trip. And then here we are entering Tokyo. As you can see, everything's going to change and become more urban. I feel like more buildings are going up in Tokyo now than before. You can see the cranes building up new buildings in the back. And this is us. This has got to be the Osaki Loop here. So we're approaching Shinagawa. So these are the tracks, and that's the Yokosuka line right below us. So back in Tokyo now, seeing a lot of things and a lot of areas in this area specifically under construction as they're rebuilding train bridges and all that. So we get into Tokyo. Go to the Sumo Museum. The Sumo Museum is free when there's nothing going on at the Sumo Stadium. We went here last time to watch the tournament, but now we go in here, and it's a small museum you can go in for free to see a lot of these artifacts of wrestlers present and past. All sorts of different trophies. There's a picture of Hakuho, one of the more famous Yokozuna wrestlers. And there's Kakuryu. And, ooh, this is a cool picture. Announcement ceremony of the Emperor's Cup in the spring tournament of 1926. So that photo is 100 years old almost.
Amazingly well preserved.
Oh, yeah. And then here's the newest Yokozuna, Hoshoryu, nicknamed Golden Boy, who apparently had issues in the tournament and decided to pull out. I think he was the first new Yokozuna in over 30 years to pull out of a grand tournament. And there's Hoshoryu with everybody else there, which was cool. I guess members of his stable. Teruno Fuji, who just recently retired. And let's see here. Oh, yes, and then there was Harry Potter. We took the Harry Potter train. We went to the making of Harry Potter at the old Toshimayan amusement park, and we went with Mystic. So let's see. This is the intro to the place. And then we have, you want to scroll ahead to when they open the doors here. So there's a big countdown to use your magic wands to open the doors to Harry Potter. And then when the countdown is done, the doors open and everybody applauds. 3, 2, 1, ta-da! And now you're like walking right into Hogwarts. See all the, like you're entering the dining area of Hogwarts right there almost. But there's a room down the middle that you can see everything going on. So these are stuff from the making of all the Harry Potter films, which were 11 films, right?
Sounds right.
11 Harry Potter films. So you have artifacts of all the different clothes from all the different houses. So this is Hufflepuff. I think I took them all. This is Gryffindor. That's looking towards the back. And there's Dumbledore overseeing things. And let's see. And there's a Mystic.
No. Ouch.
With what's the name of the character behind him?
That would be Hagrid.
Hagrid, yeah. Well, he's as tall as he is, so that kind of makes sense, I guess. Huh? There's I want to say Slither. No, Raven. That's Ravenclaw. And over there is Slytherin. Yep, that's Slytherin right there. So this whole exhibit shows you different things going. Oh, this is the moving staircase. This is cool. They actually simulate the moving staircase in this place. You can't actually climb it though, unfortunately. Probably a good reason for that.
I was going to say, I'm just
So you
getting
don't
anxious
fall
looking at that thing.
What'd you say?
So you don't go splat.
What's that, Karam?
So you don't go splat.
No, you don't go splat. No.
Walk it off the end.
No. When we entered the museum, we didn't realize it was going to take so long to go through. When they when you enter and you see the initial video, they say you should allow up to 4 hours. And that's exactly what happened. We were there for 4 hours. We did not do we did this little thing where you actually participate in the Quidditch scene from Harry Potter. They kind of film it in a way and then edit it together when it's done. So we did that. I want to look up the video we entered with the flu powder. I want to see if it's here somewhere. You may have to look carefully. I don't think I... Trying to see if I find it somewhere. But you know the video I'm talking about, right? I showed you that? Neff?
I think so. I mean, you showed me so many things on that from that trip. I'm going, I gotta get myself to Japan at some point.
Yep. No. Oh,
But then I
okay.
realized, oof,
Okay, I found it.
oh,
Ready? Here we go. You can't hear it, but yeah. This is us arriving by flu powder. So it's
and all I
like
can think of is, did you have beans for lunch? Now come the flames, and there you go.
No. This is just like walk into this space, stand here, look forward, and then walk straight ahead. Okay, so we walk straight ahead. And
They didn't
oh, here's the
tell us where
Quidditch.
to look either.
Here's the Quidditch video. Let's see if this will go. You can't hear it. There could be a copyright issue if we play audio. There's us. You see us in one part here. Oh, did you see us? This is actually a shorter version of the video they showed us. Let me see if I can pause it here. There we go. There we are, right there, acting surprised. Up in the corner.
I was gonna say, if you can't see Mystic, then you know you're out of luck.
Yes. Unfortunately, we were on the side of Slytherin. So they after the match when Harry catches the snitch, you see everybody in the Gryffindor side saying "Yay!" and all of us on the Slytherin side going "Boo!" But no, a lot of artifacts in there. You show me pushing the cart, platform 9 3/4 here. And then we also have a picture of the train that I'm going to pull up. So let me see here. This, I'll have to show this one. There's a lot of people waiting in line for a picture. But everything that's behind them, the train and the carriages, are actually imported from the UK. Those are old British rail carriages and an old steam engine that have been retired, an actual steam engine from the UK that they repurposed for this exhibit as the Hogwarts Express 5972, which I thought was pretty cool. And then, let's see. More exhibits as we go through. Harry Potter Undesirable #1.
Oh.
And then we have my favorite pictures at the end of looking at Hogwarts to scale, I guess. I took some very cool pictures when they lowered the lights to make it look like it was nighttime there. So I thought these pictures were pretty cool of the whole exhibit. A few more. Yeah, this one is one of my favorites right there. And they say it's a model that they've used in the filming, and then they've added onto it with each film. So it's kind of cool to see. We went to the racetrack, which was kind of cool. Bree placed a bet. Her first bet, she won. Of course, the only reason we went there is because of my ties with my real life job at the racetrack. Which I'm appreciative to them for, setting us up and everything. What did we have? We went to a Denny's. A Denny's in Japan is way different than a Denny's here at home. I'll give you that much. They have a varied menu. It was also kind of difficult on some days of the trip because I'm Catholic, I can't have meat on Fridays during Lent, which means those 2 days plus Ash Wednesday I couldn't eat meat, and it was kind of a bit of a struggle to find something to eat. So thank you, Bree, for putting up with me for that. We went to Nakano Broadway. Nakano Broadway is we went there again. We went there last time because there's so much opportunities for shopping. Neff, on your next trip to Japan, you definitely have to go here. This is all the secondhand geek shops, including Mandarake, which are, you know, as Bree knows, consists of 5,186 stores in this mall.
So many.
Too many. Mandarake has so many stores and so many different levels, and each store has a different thing. And we were kind of searching around a little bit because I offered to get a present for one of the Sarah cosplayers, Suki Tanuki, who lives in Texas. And Suki mentioned some things that they wanted, and it was kind of hard to try to find out certain things. And we eventually spotted something that Bree saw, so I snapped it up right away. And it's on its way to Suki now. So Suki's gonna take a picture when they get it. So it was a good way to spend the time, if you will. And then we went to this restaurant that does okonomiyaki again, much more luxurious, with some of my friends who I've known in Japan for almost over 20 years. So he also does video blogs now, which is cool. And this is our egg omelet appetizer. Not even the main course. This was the main course. So it's a different take on the okonomiyaki for sure. Bree, which okonomiyaki did you like the most? This one or the one that we had in Osaka?
Ooh. I mean, this one was a different one.
True.
This one was just with scallions.
Right. And was this the one where we
I
had
like the traditional.
You like the traditional? Yeah. I was saying this restaurant.
That one was good.
Yeah, this restaurant, was this the one where was the Hiroshima style?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Hiroshima style okonomiyaki is different from the Osaka style okonomiyaki. The Hiroshima style, a lot of stuff is just layered and grilled, whereas in Osaka is like the one you had, Neff. All the ingredients are kind of like mixed together and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to try out the Hiroshima okonomiyaki for a change. Let's see. Next we went to Harajuku. And the final night we went to Nene, is it called?
Yeah, Nene chicken.
Nene chicken is Korean chicken. It's a Korean chicken place because Bree so wanted to have something Korean for dinner once on the trip. So we had to go over here. And I have to say, it is some of the best chicken I've had. Here we go. So this is kind of like the whole tray right here. So we had two different kinds of boneless chicken. We had like a rice cake in the middle and some pickled radish, some salad, and then three different kinds of seaweed salad, which tasted pretty good. Karam, is this something you'd want to have?
Heck yeah. I got karikage chicken at a Chinese restaurant.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, I will tell you that Nene chicken, I got to see if there are any here at home. I don't think so. They do have barbecue chicken here, BBQ chicken like they do have in Tokyo, I noticed as well. But yes, this Korean chicken is by far better than the Korean chicken I can get here at home. From there, we went to, let's see. Oh, Tsukiji was very crowded with tourists. Tsukiji is where we actually stayed. This is where we got our hotel with the best deal. And they came with breakfast coupons. So some of our breakfast coupons included this. This was in the fish market. There is a Shokudo dinner building where you can have stuff like this. So I had one day this set with raw tuna chunks fresh from the fish market, along with some soup and some veggies over there. And there was one, Brie, that you liked the most, which was a soba and tuna set. I'm going to try to find that picture now.
Soba and tempura.
Oh, soba and tempura. I'm sorry. Yep. I'm trying to find it. As you say, I'm getting lost to some of these as well. Oh, here it is. I have to turn it around here, so just give me a second to flip it. There we go. So here is your bowl set right there. So it is cold soba on the left that you dip into the sauce on the lower right. And then you have the tempura, which you dip into the square bowl in the middle there with that light sauce. That's the tempura sauce. Above that is sort of like a clear soup that we had, I think, right?
Yep.
So this is, I think, Bree's favorite meal out of everything that we had for breakfast in Tsukiji. But we also had those days where we went into the sushi restaurant, whose name escapes me. Help me, Bree.
Sushi Zenmai?
Sanmai, yep. So this is a very popular sushi restaurant chain. They have several locations within the Tsukiji fish market. Many of them get pretty crowded. But one of the breakfast options, as you see right here, is a tuna don. So it is raw tuna slices over sushi rice, and they include egg and a miso soup bowl. So I think that was pretty cool to do. But yeah, overloaded with tourists in Tsukiji. It's kind of hard. That's the only way we got into Tsukiji. The only reason we did was to go to the Sushi Zanmai restaurants for the breakfast deals. And then we went to the Tokyo Museum in Ueno to burn some time off. Oh, another place we went to for breakfast. This was the morning of our departure back home. This is the red bean paste and like a butter whipped cream toast along with some coffee. I'm putting this up as a reel so you can see the steaming coffee come up from your Hoshino coffee cup. This is actually a nice place to go to escape the weather, which that morning was snowing. And that Nev is pretty much the gist of the trip, aside from one event that happened right as we were checking out of the hotel that I think Bree knows very well.
Yeah. Our taxi decided to go through the market.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Okay. We're like, wait, why are you going that way?
So, okay, so let me spell this out for you. Our hotel is right near the entrance to one of the major busy streets, and right next to it is the main road. So we decide, instead of taking the subway, we'll go ahead and call an Uber, if you will. But in Japan, it's called Go. We've actually used Go a couple of times in Tokyo, and it was very convenient. We used it one night to escape the wet weather and go to the local Don Quixote store and buy some things, which was very good. And then, of course, we didn't need the app on the way back because there were taxis right outside. And then the second time is this event where we hail the cab to go to Ueno Station with our luggage to pick up the train to the airport. And so we call it up and we make specific requests. We want this company You can choose whatever taxi company you want. We chose Nihon Kotsu because usually it has a pretty good reputation. And then we wanted to have the newer taxi cabs in Japan that kind of look like London cabs. So they're kind of tall instead of like the crowns that you see, Neff. And then, enough space to put the luggage in the back. So the guy shows up and we show him the thing. Okay. And we tell him the destination in advance. We want to go to Ueno Station. Okay. So we think what he's going to do is maybe back out onto the main road and take the main road back. No, he follows the GPS, which is the shortest way to get to Ueno Station. And logically speaking, in Japan, a lot of taxi drivers will do that, follow the GPS, so that they don't try to run up the meter on you. So there's a reasoning behind that. But yes, he decides to slowly, very slowly, drive through the market, through all the gaijin foreigners standing out in the street, slowly making their way off to the side. And Bree was probably feeling the same way I did, just feeling so like, what is he doing? He never honked his horn either.
Oh, he was just like, hey, can you tell the people to move out of the way?
Yeah, exactly.
To like the shop owners.
Yes.
And they're like, why did you come down this way?
One of the shop owners came out, was just standing in the middle of the road. And then he turns and looks at our cab and goes, ah! I'm exaggerating a little bit, but he was scared. And then a few moments later, the taxi driver goes up, pulls down the window, and he was like, "Dame desu ka?" He's like, "I shouldn't be here." And the owner was like, "Bikkuri shita yo! You scared me." And that was all that was said. And then he continued to drive slowly through the street until we got to the end of the street, and then, kind of opened up from there. But Neff, if you were in that situation, what would you do?
I'd sit back and enjoy the ride, but I think you managed to find the Japanese equivalent of Mr. Bean as your taxi driver.
That's why I rated the ride as just okay when the ride was over. Not great, but okay.
I mean, yeah, fair. I mean, he didn't hit anybody, which is great. You still got where you need to go.
Yep.
But yikes. Oof.
Although I think, Bree, you will agree that our taxi drivers to and from the Don Quixote were a lot more friendlier.
Yes, they were awesome.
Yeah, they
I love them.
Yeah, one of the guys, the guy who picked us up from the hotel, attempted to, talk to us in English, which was cool. And then we tried to mix up English and Japanese with the other taxi driver who drove us back. But the taxi driver who drove us to the train station through the Tsukiji market was kind of like silent all the way. Didn't want to talk at all.
Maybe he was afraid he'd say something as worse than, how's my driving?
It's a rough start to the beginning, so
yeah,
probably didn't feel like talking.
There would have been only one word I would have said. Aho.
Oh, no.
Maybe not out loud, but in my head. Aho.
I'm going to leave it at that. Oh my goodness. I will also point out we went to Gotokuji. I didn't take too many pictures inside the temple, but that is actually where my background comes from. It is on the walk that goes from the Gotokuji temple back to the Odakyu train station. And Gotokuji is something that Bree wanted to do so desperately.
I had to get the cat statue.
Yes, we wanted to get the lucky cat statue. from Gotokujo. We encountered it before. Although this time there were more tourists there than when we were there 2 years ago. Because remember, 2 years ago, there were still COVID restrictions, so things weren't as bad with foreigners as they are now. So, well, that sort of wraps up the trip. Bree, is there anything I left out that you want to bring up? Anything interesting that happened that I didn't mention?
Oh my gosh. I can't think of anything.
No worries. Liz, you got any questions? Any comments?
Did you guys go to like any arcades?
Oh yes, we did the round one. We did like we Bree mentioned earlier, we did round one, and we did what are the Dance Dance Revolution machines were empty, so we did 2 rounds on those.
Oh, cool.
So they also had
Go
ahead.
We got to play retro games at the Retro Museum
Oh yes,
in
that too.
Takayama.
Mm-hmm. So we played like old pinball machines and the old Space Invaders too. Yeah, Neff.
Okay, the original Space Invaders. I remember playing that. It was a dime. That's how old it was.
Yeah, I think in the museum, actually we played it a few times. There was one at the museum was like a tabletop with like the curved CRT monitor. They set it up to free play. And then we also went to the Kyoto Manga Museum. Oh, do I have pictures of the Manga Museum? I don't know if I have too many photos from inside there. But let's see here. I'm trying to see real quick. So, yeah, not too many photos inside the Manga Museum. There was this picture from a little presentation that they had. So, did we visit an anime store? Yeah, I think we did in a few of the major cities called it. This name escapes me, but this is a type of storytelling. Maybe it is here. Yes. Kamishibai. So this is a type of traditional storytelling, and that was part of the snacks that were vended out by the storyteller once the show was over. So this is an old traditional form of street storytelling before television shows became popular. So the guys would go around town, put on these shows for the kids, and tell the stories with the same kind of intensity that maybe you'd find in like a kabuki play. I think that would be the best way to describe it, Bree, right?
Yes.
So yes, the guy puts all these slides together and then unveils them slowly. And they also had English subtitles on there so we could understand what's going on too. And this was the story, Neff, of the Golden Bat.
I'm assuming it's a baseball story and not, Batman covered in gold paint.
No, it's Batman covered in gold paint almost. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a story behind the Golden Bat. Let's see, Golden Bat, Japan. Ogon Bat, a comic book character, also known as Phantom Man or Phantomas, considered by some to be the world's first superhero, and is a precursor to later superhero characters such as Prince of Gamma and the American comic book characters Superman and Batman. Golden Bat was created in 1930. So that would have been like almost 10 years before Superman and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So So that was a cool show to see, and we got that little treat that we bought from the guy when the show was over. So it was pretty cool. Bree, your takes on that?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. He really involved the audience, and he was really a fan of JR and this other lady that was from, what was it, Brazil or?
I think so. Because
So he would really like to ramp them up. And it was just a really good experience.
Yes. So yes, when he asked everybody to laugh like Golden Bat, he would laugh like this. I sort of overdid it a little bit, and the guy was looking at me very impressed. So, let's see. Karam, do you have any comments or questions?
If you guys go back, what areas would you hit next time?
What areas will we hit next time? Well, if it was me, I'd probably hit areas I haven't been to before. I, at some point, might want to try to go back through Takayama. I had a blast in Takayama, and I don't think one night is enough, to be honest.
Plus, we could go to Kanazawa.
We could go to Kanazawa. It is not too many rail connections, but you can go to Kanazawa. There's also buses that go to Kanazawa, and they take you through the historic district of Shirakawa, where all the houses with the thatched roofs are. So a lot of different things there. And I've mentioned to Bree and Nev and all the time. One thing I always want to do, bucket list item. Take trains from one end of Japan to the other. Start at the upper tip of Hokkaido, end in the end of Kyushu, or the other way around.
You're gonna have to do it.
I don't know. It would take a lot of time, and I have to rely on the Japanese railways to actually be running. Because it's something you could do in probably a few days, considering... besides Hokkaido, most of your trip could be on the bullet train. But there are some ways you could just slow down and relax in places. Neff, any questions from you?
Well, I'm curious because I think you mentioned you sent us photos. You had a couple places where they had like those sake vending machines.
Oh yeah, let me find that. That was in Takayama too. And this is different, different operating modi from the ones that we did when you visited a long time ago. Okay, so let this load. Here are the sake vending machines over here. I believe there are 100 vending machines. And what happens is you get it's kind of like a Suica card. It's a tap to drink, if you will. You pay 1,000 yen, and then you choose a vending machine to do a tasting from. So there are 100 yen, 200 yen. There are some 3 and 4s and a few 5s in there as well. But yeah, I think I had like 5 sips or 6 sips of sake, and it was plastered by the time I left there.
Ah, the memories.
Bree, how did you feel at that point?
Oh yeah, I was tipsy for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So no, definitely it's meant to offer it's mainly geared to promote the sake made in that area, but they also include sake from all parts of Japan, all prefectures. They had one from Hokkaido, and then the last one I had was one from Okinawa, which tasted a little too complex, if you will. The more south you go in Japan, the less it is likely you'll find sake brewery. They're more into like the harder liquids like shochu and stuff, like the barley type drinks. But it was very interesting to see what they had in there. So yes, I guess we'll have to add Takayama to Neff's next trip.
Definitely, and I'm going to do the same thing probably that I did the last time, which is outdrink my companions and go, I'm okay, I'm fine. Meanwhile, my companions are like, oh, the room is spinning. I gotta stop now.
Yeah, that was when. Was that?
Said I don't know. It probably would have helped if we had food in our bellies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were a little bit on an empty stomach at that point too. So.
Okay, yeah, a sake. No, that's bad planning. That is bad planning.
Unfortunately, though, and that was because we had to save our stomachs for the sushi and beef dinner.
Ah.
So, yeah. If there are any other questions about the trip, we'll entertain him for just a couple minutes here because we are getting close to the end. It's been a long show, and once again, if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably wondering a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense. We'll put a disclaimer when we put the audio podcast up. But this show's been a lot of show and tell tonight, so we do encourage you to watch the Twitch and YouTube replays of the podcast. The good thing is, because we are doing a simulcast to YouTube, there is no waiting period, so you can go back and watch this right away on YouTube. You may not have like an intro or an outro like you would hear on the podcast, but you will get into things right away like we do on the Twitch stream, and it'll be up for, for good, compared to the Twitch shows that are only up for 2 weeks. Any other questions from anybody in the room here? Neff, Liz, Bree, Karam. Bree can answer a question. How about this? Any questions for Bree? Neff, do you have a question for Bree?
Well, I'll ask her because you and I have traveled before. I'm going to ask you this. What did you think about the accessibility in terms of, did it look like, for example, somebody with mobility concerns would be able to get around fairly easily where you went in this trip?
Well, a lot of places are fairly accessible, but I mean, some of the older places aren't as accessible for some people because there's always going to be a lot of stairs, a lot of, like steep slopes that you would have to go beyond to get to your destination. So, I mean, they're a lot better than they were the last time that we visited, but I mean, there's always room for improvement, just like in the US.
Right. I also have to add to that. I saw a lot more where they've actually gone out of the way to build slopes for people with disabilities, so it makes it a little easier for them to get up and down, especially where you have these weird steps or stairs somewhere. So I think definitely more so now, at least in the last few years, definitely since you last visited Neff, we've seen a lot more strides towards accessibility in the places we visited.
Okay, that's very encouraging, because again, when I go to Japan, I know I want to hit at least one or two automotive museums, because I know how the North American automotive industry grew and had its ups and its downs, but the Japanese one, especially pre-World War II and then post-World War II,
Exactly.
it's a very, very interesting story from what little I've been able to ascertain over here.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the Toyota museums in Nagoya or outside of Nagoya will be definitely, and that's on the way to the Ghibli Park, I think.
Yeah.
So we looked this up before. So, Let's see. Any other questions for Bree? Karam, you have a question for Bree?
Yeah, since you've been there twice, Bree, where would you recommend starting off?
Ooh. Well, I actually recommended this to somebody that I work with already. I would just start off in Tokyo. If you aren't with somebody that is seasoned on getting around Japan, that's just the best place to start.
Agree. You have a lot more flights going into Tokyo as well. We lucked out with our flight to Osaka. It was available. It just happened to work out. But yes, more than likely going to be flying into Tokyo anyway, unless your itinerary is a little weird. So I agree with Bree. Tokyo is definitely a place to start out. Liz, you want to ask anything to Bree real quick?
What was your favorite vending machine?
Oh, my favorite vending machine? Trying to think of what I got from the vending machines.
I know it was my favorite vending machine.
My favorite vending machines are always the beverage ones. So I would always get like, Boss has this fruit tea. These fruit teas that I'm obsessed with, and they're hard to find. So every time I would see this fruit tea, I would lose my mind and buy one. And there was this moment in time where we were going towards the Nintendo Museum, I think. And I found one, and I had one in my purse because I was going to save it for later. And JR was like, you can't bring that into the museum at all. Like, we got to get rid of it. And I was like, oh no. So I had to like chug the entire thing with him in like 3 minutes.
Oh no.
But yes, I think that would be my favorite vending machine.
Cool.
I know what my favorite vending machine is. I'm going to have to post a video of it on Instagram later. You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh,
The orange juice machine.
That was neat.
Fresh oranges. So, incidentally, 350 yen. Did you see the video, Neff?
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, holy mackerel, that's a lot of work for a glass of orange juice.
It was delicious too. But big difference where you go. In the market we were in Osaka, where it doesn't get a lot of foot traffic from foreign tourists, 350 yen. In Tsukiji, which is full of foreign tourists, that same vending machine is 600 yen.
Ouch. I mean, before you had said it, I thought maybe 500 yen, you know, the tourist tax, but 600? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's robbing the tourist. Never mind taxing them.
I feel like, you know, we didn't go through much in the market, but I felt like, they're making too much efforts in there with English signs. And I was like, nah. So, well, Bree, did you have a wonderful time talking about our trip tonight?
I had a great time. I am totally ready to go back again.
Same here.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, you're making me hungry too. Yeah. Neff?
Definitely, but you know, the problem for me is that going from Toronto means I think the only option is Scare Canada, which in and of itself isn't bad, but I would like to try maybe JAL, their business class, just to see how much of a difference it actually is. Because I've seen some promotional stuff and I'm going, might be a little more comfortable.
Right. Now, I do think if you're willing to make a stop, if you get a flight out to Vancouver, which is domestic for you, obviously, All Nippon goes from Vancouver to Japan. So you might be able to try All Nippon if you were able to change in Vancouver.
So do a 2-stop flight. Now, again, I have done now a couple of multi-stop flights. Only once have I been, like, whoops, where's my luggage? Eek! So maybe I would try that. But there is that part of me that goes, one flight, they can only lose my luggage once.
Yeah. Liz, are you inspired to go to Japan?
I would like to. I don't think it's probably not in my future, but if it is, if I do have an opportunity to go somewhere, I would definitely pick Japan.
Yeah. And how about you, Karam?
Oh, well, I'm saving up to go. I don't know when, but I have a pretty good chunk saved up so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. Why would you go to Vancouver by car? Did you see Flax's question? Have you thought of going to Vancouver by car to fly to Japan?
Well, the problem with that little idea is that if I wanted to stay in Canada, I would have to drive pretty much to the northernmost part of Ontario and then across the prairies, heading downwards, and then across the Rocky Mountains to get to Vancouver. That would probably take close to a week to do it safely.
And how much vacation time do you have?
Well, actually, technically, I have way too much vacation time, and they always fight with me, about using it. But that's because I've been where I work for this year will mark 30 years.
Wow.
Where you're going to?
Which actually, beats my father, who, God rest his soul, made it 25 years before the business was sold out from under him. Otherwise, he probably would have kept going until he retired at the time.
By the way, let's see. I want to raise this glass before we sign off here tonight. What is this, Bree?
A butterbeer cup.
Yes, or as I incorrectly said, beer butter. Shut up.
Well, he didn't say beer butt, but that's besides the point.
No. No, we tried that butter beer in Universal Studios, and there were lines all over the place. But then when we got to Tokyo, we could just walk right up to it and buy some butter beer, and it was out of this world. So
Share.
I presume it's non-alcoholic?
Correct. So I finally found out now how you can make your own beer butter, butter beer, whatever. You take
It's time. Your bedtime.
You take cream soda, throw it in the fridge, and then you open it up and you put in some butterscotch syrup and some butter syrup, a butter extract, and then you can drink it like that, or you can throw in a little bit of whipped cream and then stir it up. That's the main recommendation for butterbeer, apparently.
Sweet.
Exactly. And then there are ways, Neff, you can spike it up too.
Okay, I'm just thinking about all the calories before you add the liquor, and I'm going, oh.
Yeah.
I wish I had a vat.
There you go. Party in Bree's
dear.
place.
We're all flying over.
I knew they do things paid out by where Bree lives, but that's ridiculous.
Speaking of which, Neff, closing commentary.
If you have any questions, concerns, compliments, or complaints about this podcast or any of our Twitch streams, drop us a line. You can drop us a line at extremeanimeradio@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Go to linktree.com/animeradio. There you'll find our Instagram account, our mascot's Instagram account, our Blue Sky account, our Twitch account, our YouTube channel, and archive versions of this podcast are available at xarpodcast.net. That's xarpodcast.net or your favorite podcasting platform.
And I'd like to remind you guys once again that we do have a wallpaper version of this. And this art is going to be published on our socials this weekend. We'll have the wallpaper following right after that. So please stay tuned in the coming days. Muchas gracias otra vez to Brenny Murasaki for helping us out with her amazing artwork. This concludes the podcast, and this is obviously going to conclude our night because we spent the whole night talking about the trip. We'll probably return tomorrow and continue Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane, where Ace Attorney meets World of Fantasy, Wizards, and Magic, which has been quite interesting, Neff.
Indeed. It reminds me of that anime Wizard Barristers, which, although I never finished it because it frankly looked too close to it turned out to be too close to work, as in, how the plot went. So, but it's like, this is interesting.
Yeah. So if you want to see what we're talking about, watch our replays from yesterday on both Twitch and YouTube. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday, again on both Twitch and YouTube, where we will continue this game. For the meantime, everybody else in the room, for Neff, Liz, Bree, and Karam, I'm JR. Thank you for watching us and listening to us, primarily watching us, reminisce about Japan here on the XAR podcast. We'll see you tomorrow. If you're listening to the podcast, we'll see you on the next podcast. And Neff, one more thing. Your items for the charity auction are on their way, but there are also some items for you. So please save those items for the next podcast whenever we do it. There are some blind box items that hopefully Canadian Border Services won't open before you do.
Well, as I said to you off air, I have a feeling if anybody's going to open them, it's going to be you guys. Guys on your end before my guys. My guys won't care.
What would you say?
You'll just have to flog them.
Oh, jeez. Well, on that happy note, for everybody in the room, I'm JR. Thanks for watching and listening to us. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, remember,
keep on looking out for the Extreme Radio Twitch streams, and don't forget, archive versions of our podcasts are available at xarpodcast.net. That's xarpodcast.net, or your favorite podcasting platform. Good night, everybody.
Good night. We'll see you next time. And if you're watching us on stream, we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.